This is Armed American Radio's Daily Defense.
Armed American Radio's Daily Defense, because they don't want me to, that's why I do it.
Presented by the National Rifle Association from the 6 Hour Studios on the Patriot Mobile Platinum microphone.
They're never going to stop us here.
Here is your host, the loudest conservative voice in America fighting the enemies of freedom, Mark Walters.
That would be me, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome inside Armed American Radio's Daily Defense 6 Hour Studios. Mark Walters in front of the Patriot Mobile Communication and Command Center microphone here at the Communication and Command Center Patriot Mobile Ranch. It's all being brought to you by the National Rifle Association. Greg in Dallas, Texas, how you doing, my brother? You sending me some hotter weather? I hope you do, man. I want it hot.
Yeah, absolutely. 90 degrees heading your way in a day or two.
90's nothing. I want more.
No, it's not.
I want August, September heat, man. I want 100 plus.
Well, I'll send you rain next chance I get, so.
Thanks for that. It's not like I've not had enough of that. So, Greg, I had, it's been a fun day today. I got to tell you, I'm in a really good mood because I had, I started re-upping my guitar lessons again, right?
You did.
And those guys have a way of humbling you and making you feel really stupid when you go in there.
Yeah, they do.
Because they're so good. But I've been taking lessons for about 2 years, and I stopped. My instructor said, look, man, you've progressed so far. He says, I don't know that there's much more I can personally do with you at this point. So I've been going about 5 months without lessons, and I went in today. And I started taking them again last week. Well, I just got completely humbled last week. I thought I was jamming like crazy, man, until I went in last week, took a lesson, and got pretty smacked down. I was like, oh, so depressed, God, I thought I was doing really well. Well, I was, and I am. But these guys are so far ahead. I went in there
when
today.
They got 15, 20, 25 years on you, and you've got 2.5.
Try 30.
Yeah.
This guy's about my age. He's got 35, 40 years on me.
Sure.
But nonetheless, I went in today, and it was fantastic. I actually do the lessons. I'm the talk radio host. When I have an author on the show that has a book, I actually read the book before I bring him on.
Yeah.
That's just me. I actually do the lessons. And I went in there today, and I didn't come out of there humbled. I came out of there feeling like a stud, man, because I jammed with him for a half hour, and it was a lot of fun. And if anybody plays an instrument or understands that, I've been learning how to solo, and I've been getting pretty good at it over the last year. So it was a great experience. Made me feel really good. Anyway, Greg, we're on every one of our social media platforms today, including Facebook.com, ladies and gentlemen, Facebook.com/Armed American Radio. Greg, I'll let you take it away from there. Then we're going to do something fun today with our guest, Lee Williams. Today's a Google Gun Control Tuesday. Greg, you, me, and Lee are all going to Google Gun Control live together, something we've not done today. And we're going to see what pops up, and that's where we're going to go. Sound like a plan?
Yeah, sure. Works for me.
Let's do it.
All right, sure. Other places to watch the show, you can head over to YouTube and Rumble and just search for Armed American Radio with Mark Walters. Over on X, we're at AAR Mark. You can head over to armedamericanradio.org or .com and hit that menu icon, select your watch live or listen live options. If you want to join our live chats, just download Telegram, create your profile, and search for Armed American Radio Conversations.
That will do it. And I see a bunch of people retweeting the show today, and it looks like I put Big Beautiful Bill Huns Gunwriter. I spelled guns with Huns. So, sorry I don't have any Huns on the show today, guys, but we are going to talk about guns. Let's go to Lee Williams, the Gunwriter. Lee, every once in a while you misspell something on X, formerly known as Twitter, and, well, you just can't let it bother you, can you?
No, but I do qualify as a Hun. I'm half German, I guess.
I wasn't thinking Huns in those terms. I was thinking, hey, Hun, what's up, Hun? Can you say that anymore, or is that considered sexist? I don't know. Are men even allowed to look at beautiful women? Am I allowed to say Scarlett Johansson is hot? Am I allowed to do that anymore, or am I going to get in trouble?
I think you can get away with it, given our audience.
All right, well, Scarlett Johansson is hot. So I said it. Get me in trouble. Cancel me. Try to. Whatever you want to do. So, guys, are you ready? Let's well, Lee, before we do that, you dropped a piece today. Let's cover that before we do Google Gun Control Tuesday, okay?
Okay. Yeah, it was a rally put on for Tate Adamiak, Patrick Tate Adamiak.
In New Jersey.
This is like the 20th story I've written. The New Jersey Firearm Owners Syndicate and Scott Pressler's Early Vote Action had a rally, and they got 200 people to sign petitions to show their support for Tate. Keep in mind, has 17 more years to serve on his 20-year federal prison sentence.
That's a start.
Yeah. And Joe Laporto, the director of legal ops for the New Jersey Firearms Owner Syndicate, says they're going to keep going. They've already got one scheduled coming up in a couple weeks.
Okay.
So I think that this is really good. I mean, this is a rally for Tate. His dad was there. I talked to his dad. His dad had a good time. The next rally will be July 12th in Easton, PA at Heritage Guild, which is a gun shop. And they're just trying to get signatures, and they're going to give them all. They want to get 1 billion of them and turn them into the federal government.
1 billion,
until
huh?
they do some stuff.
Yeah, I've told those guys 50 billion times not to exaggerate. Did you get that?
Yeah,
I mean, look, if they're going to get 1 billion, we need more than 200. But and I'm not being facetious or anything here, guys. It is a start. And the key here is that the word is getting out that this kid needs to be out of jail. And I really, truly believe in this radio host heart that this kid is going to get a pardon. I don't know why I feel that way other than I've talked to people who are talking to the White House. So there is movement there. And the fact that we're seeing rallies and this guy's name is getting out there, you can hang your hat on that one, because that's all you, brother. So thank you. I know he's thanking you, I'm sure.
Yeah, we're not going to stop until he's out. I mean, nothing. The ACF found nothing in his house when they did a search warrant. And all of a sudden he's got a 20-year sentence and they tried to give him 30.
I can't wait till the party is thrown when this kid gets out, because he's going to get out. I wouldn't normally say that, but I have this gut feeling. And I just believe that the ball is now rolling. And I think now that it's rolling, it's going to be impossible to stop it. It's heading downhill. It's going to happen. Now, you correct me if you think I'm wrong.
I look at some of the people that Trump has pardoned already, and the difference between them and Tate is they committed a crime. Tate has not.
Yeah. Well, I know the White House is aware of this. I don't know if it's got as far to the Oval Office yet, but I know staff is aware of this. So I can say that honestly. I don't know who. I know the staff is aware. So hopefully this gets to the White House, or gets to the Oval Office in the White House, and beyond just that staff, and Trump can put something on paper here and get this kid out. Ladies and gentlemen, Adamiak is the young man who has been screwed by the ATF, who just was on a rampage during the Biden years and went after this kid, and everything that he had was perfectly legal. Everything he had was perfectly legal. Don't just take my word for it. Go read his stories at thegunwriter.com and at Armed American Radio. Read these stories. You can read them at Second Amendment Foundation. Lee has been covering this now for months. Read the stories. Don't just take my word for it. But I'm telling you right now, everything he had, because somebody out there is questioning, the ATF wouldn't have done that. Yeah, they did. And yes, they would have. And we have covered businesses that they have put out of business because, this little pen right here didn't dot an I or put the state initial in a box that should have been something else. Okay? So yeah, they would have. Yeah, they did. And the kid needs to get out of jail. And you've done God's work on this thing. So we're gonna continue to follow that. All right, Lee, I'll give you a last word on that, Lee. And then we're going to all of us are going to type the words gun control in here at the same time. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're playing by your computer and you want to follow along with us, go ahead, because something's going to come up. We will also talk about the big, beautiful bill that has, in fact, passed the Senate. And I want to throw something out relative to the NFA, the National Firearms Act, because it goes back to the House. Could they reintroduce it? Well, the answer to that is yes, they could. But then it would have to go back to the Senate because it's got to reconcile, at which point you would have to have the parliamentarian, if she pulled the same shenanigans and pull it out, you would have to have that be overridden in the Senate, which could be done because Thune can do that. Her role is advisory only. So could that happen? We'll talk about that. Lee, I'll give you the last word before we go to a break on Adamiak. Tell people what you want them to know and how they can help you here, and then we'll flip over to the gun control schemes.
I'm going to give you his last quote. He said, when I spoke to him yesterday, when you're in prison, you have no voice, so this feels great. I am blocked from all links to life. I feel great getting some notoriety because through everyone else's voice, mine will be heard.
Who? How often do you talk to him behind bars?
Weekly. We talk weekly.
So you get the calls, or you've got a call coming from an inmate at a correctional facility, blah, blah, blah. You get those calls?
Let's not go there right now.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it's
we
disturbing.
We speak weekly.
It's disturbing, ladies and gentlemen, because it shouldn't be happening. Greg, how much time do I have? Do I have time to Google gun control real quick?
No, you don't. We're about to go to break.
All right.
5 seconds.
5 seconds. We're taking a break. Lee, when we come back, don't cheat, guys. And, you can do that at home. And please don't do that if you're driving, all right, guys? But Lee and Greg, hang in there. We're going to type gun control together at the exact same time when we come back. We'll see what pops up. I have an idea what stories might show up here on the Google list, and we'll cover them over the course of the next 3 segments. Armed American Radio's Daily Defense. We'll be right back after the break. Don't go away. We'll have some fun with you today. All right, those of you watching online, let me show you where we're going to go when we come back from the break, but you guys get to see it first because this showed up at my door today. Here's the gig. As I was telling you yesterday, a lot of you did yesterday, but we've got 700, and I think we've got 720 of these left now because a number of them went out yesterday. But if you join or rejoin the National Rifle Association for a 1 to 3 year membership, you're going to get the discount using the AAR promo code. It's what I tell you before. It's nra.org/AAR. nra.org/AAR. The first 700, and I guess 20 of you left now that join or rejoin for a 1 or 3 year membership will get this range bag. There you go. I'm holding that up for the camera for you there. Okay. And it puffs out. This one's been a little flattened because it's been in a box, but it's perfect for taking to the range. And if you sign up for a 3 or 5 year membership using that AAR promo code, you're going to get this box here, which I don't want to, I'll spill something in it. But this is the NRA binoculars that you're going to get. They come within the case. I have them both in the bag here for you. But you're going to get the binoculars, the 10 by 42s. And these things are nice, guys. These are real nice. This is not cheap stuff. There's good heavy weight to these. Come with the rubber covers on them. Okay, 10 by 42 binoculars. Very good stuff. This is not garbage at all. And, of course, you get the case that comes with it. All by simply signing up for a 5 year or life membership, you'll get the binoculars. At the end, whenever the NRA and I determine that, okay, we've got everything out there, all right, they're gone, now we're going to do a grand prize that's actually going to be a giveaway. And it will be one grand prize winner will win a second, it's a different range bag. You're going to get a different range bag, and it's going to be loaded with swag from all of our other partners. Think Car Arms, think Ammo Squared, think some magazines, holsters from Crossbreed, swag from me. You'll get my signed books, 3 of them. You'll get some AAR mugs. You'll get some AAR printed stuff, some shirts, some covers, rain gear stuff, all kinds of fun stuff in that bag. And there's only one grand prize winner is going to get that. So take advantage of that. And all you have to do is visit nra.org/AAR. You can also do that by clicking on the link. I'll put the link up. Some of you might not be able to see the link. It depends. And some of the platforms still won't put anything up that has NRA on it. You know how they are. But nonetheless, you can simply go to armedamericanradio.com or .org and click on the National Rifle Association link anywhere that you see it, whether it's on the sponsor page or the front page. As our presenting sponsor, just click on that. It will take you there. And I'm not sure if the landing page, I haven't checked yet today, if the landing page has been updated to show this. It doesn't matter because that's what you'll get with a 1 to 3 year membership, including the hat, you get the magazine and all the cool stuff. So if you haven't done it yet, please join or rejoin the National Rifle Association. Take advantage of that. It's not a contest. The first there's 720 of them left. The first 720 that go in and register to join the NRA for the 1 to 3 year, get the bag. The 5 year to
30.
life, get the binoculars. So take advantage of it. And we'll be back in, you just heard Greg, 20 seconds now. And yeah, I'm going to do that all over again for the live audience.
Guess we'll never get to Google gun control with all that.
Yeah, we will. I'll just take it easy. Smart ass.
The following segment of Armed American Radio's Daily Defense is being brought to you by Patriot Mobile. Visit patriotmobile.com/AAR and use the AAR promo code to get free activation today. Welcome back to the show.
Yeah, you can do that too over at Patriot Mobile, patriotmobile.com/AAR. Take advantage of a free month of activation like I've done on now 2 of my phones. You can do the same thing. Remember, we're coming to you on the Patriot Mobile microphone 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, at the Patriot Mobile Communication and Command Center. And if you were watching the show during the break, you heard me and saw me show the range bag that you get if you join the National Rifle Association. I got mine today. And also the binoculars. I'm not going to hold them up for the camera again because those that are watching already saw it. But for those of you listening on your devices or radio stations anywhere around the country tuned into the program today, the program is the promotion is well underway. We have 720 of them left, allocated specifically for Armed American Radio listeners. Join for a 1 to 3 membership, 1 to 3 year membership at $35. By getting $10 off, you get the range bag for free. I held it up for the cameras. If you want to go back and watch it later at home, you can do so. And if you sign up for a 5-year to life membership, one of those two, 5-year or life, you get the binoculars, the 10x42s. And it's great stuff, ladies and gentlemen. It's the real deal. When the promotion is over, one of you will win a second range bag, a different range bag filled with all kinds of swag from our other great partners. It's going to be worth a few bucks. So take advantage of that. The National Rifle Association, this is a new organization, ladies and gentlemen, fighting for your gun rights. Particularly if you're living behind the blue wall, you need the NRA now more than you've ever needed them before, as the blue states decide they want to crap all over the Bruin decision. So take advantage of that. You can do that real simply by going to armedamericanradio.com and clicking the NRA link, or you can visit nra.org/AAR. 1 to 3 year membership gets the range bag, 5-year or life gets the binoculars, and one of you will win. And there's 720 of those left. All you have to do is join to get it. It will show up in your mail with all your other cool stuff you get from the NRA. Guys, welcome back in. Lee, the Gunwriter Williams, you guys ready to Google gun control? Greg, let's do it. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so let me get over to an open window. Gun control. All right. Lee, did you do it?
I did.
Greg, you're in there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see what we got. Buckeye Firearms Association comes up on top. Armed churchgoers prevent mass attack as Michigan lawmakers plot more gun control. That was 10 hours ago. Let's take that one on. We've covered that story, Lee, but this is the Michigan where you had the deacon actually run the guy over in a Ford F-150 pickup truck, which is a beautiful thing in and of itself. And then you had the security guard finish him off with his firearm. Of course, all of it was legal, ladies and gentlemen, because he was planning on murdering what would have been likely dozens of people before he was taken out, if it not were for these two, heroes. Lee, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. This was a great use of force. The kind you don't train, obviously. I was a policeman for 10 years. We didn't talk a lot about taking people out with your squad car, but man, it's a 4,000-pound weapon. Why not?
Yeah, it's a big weapon. Greg, we've talked about this before, but it's a really good, solid version of a happy ending story, is it not?
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody loves when you get 500 points for taking out a perp.
500 points for taking out a perp. What do you get for the car? Or the truck, I should say, the F-150. And, you know, there's
the cool
irony.
Story.
The irony is not lost on me, guys, because we use the analogy all the time. There are more AR-15s in the hands of law-abiding American citizens than there are F-150 pickup trucks in America. Now, I think we would all agree that F-150s are in common use, Lee, the Gunwriter Williams, correct?
Yeah, absolutely, as are AR-15s.
Yeah. And if the F-150 is in common use, as Lee just pointed out, well, so is the AR-15. If there's more of them than there are the common use truck. And the reason we mention that is because the 3 Supreme Court decisions have already made very clear, as did Kavanaugh and other decisions, even in dissents, that the Supreme Court, that the United States, that the government cannot ban firearms that are in common use. So it highlights more than ever before why we have got to get an assault weapons ban case, Lee, up to the Supreme Court, which I feel confident we will do, and I know once it gets there, we will win. And I'm going to guess you feel the same way.
Yeah, I do. I think it's just a matter of time. Looked like we were going to go last session, but I think they probably have one pick that's better.
Yeah, now, before I go back to gun control, I want to go to Giffords, simply because I responded to one of their lies again today. 3 hours ago, it's 4:26 p.m. Eastern time right now, 26 minutes after the hour, depending on whenever you're listening to the show at whatever time. But Giffords put out just a few hours ago from the time we're live now, breaking: the Senate passes Trump's big, beautiful bill, advancing a radical provision that will make it easier for dangerous people to buy gun silencers and short-barreled rifles and shotguns. Passing this bill endangers law enforcement in the communities they risk their lives to protect. The House must reject this assault on public safety. Now, they changed that tweet, Lee. I believe that was, let's take a look here, that was edited. And the reason it was edited was because their original tweet had words in there relative to making it impossible to detect the sound of gunshots. And yeah, that's not, I'm not kidding you, because the lies they tell are just incredible. But it said making it nearly impossible to detect their use. Now, that's a bunch of bullygig, and we all know it. But they stop at nothing. I think they got so hammered in their responses that they had no choice but to pull that out.
Well, I was at a good friend's shop not too long ago. He got a new suppressor on a 9. We went into the garage of the range of his shop to shoot it into a ballistic target. With the big overhead doors closed, it is still very, very, very loud.
Oh, hold on.
It's not loud enough to give you...
Hold on. You wouldn't have even been able to hear him shooting behind you if the gun was equipped with a silencer. We all know that to be the case.
Yeah.
You didn't know he was shooting. You're just embellishing, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't hurt, but you definitely know a gun went off.
So, in other words, you could tell the individual in the room with you was firing a gun, correct?
Without a doubt.
Could you tell where the gunshot came from?
Yeah, kind of.
Or did you have to look around the room and say, Paul, where are you? Oh, there you are. I thought I heard your gun go off.
Yeah, no, it's not like that. It's to reduce ear damage to your ears. And, they're great at it. They've been around for, 100 years or so.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know why they don't come standard with every firearm.
These people are so stupid and lie so much that they just make it so easy to make fun of them. Because, folks, if you've never fired one, well, you should. Now, when we come back, I want to stay on that briefly before we go back to gun control, because the House could make a move here. Is it going to happen? I don't know. Doubtful. Could it? I don't know. Could they? Yes. We'll talk about it when we come back relative to Trump's big, beautiful bill that the Giffords are all freaked out over. Now, keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, all the big, beautiful bill does, at least in its current form, is remove the $200 tax that you have to pay to buy a suppressor or a short-barreled rifle. It does not remove the ATF registration process to do so, just the tax you have to pay. So how is that making it easier for dangerous people to buy gun silencers? Still have to go through the same process. You just don't have to write that check. We'll be right back.
The following segment of Armed American Radio is proudly being brought to you by the National Rifle Association. Help us defend freedom by visiting nra.org/AAR and join today. Welcome back to the show.
Yeah, welcome back to the show indeed. Take advantage of the offer over there, ladies and gentlemen, at nra.org/AAR. Take advantage of that and get this range bag, get those binoculars, whichever option you choose. Help us defend freedom. This is a new NRA, new management, new group. The old guard is gone. Done. Move forward with us. Help us. Help us go from the 800-pound gorilla to the 1,000-pound gorilla. We are all in over there. They are doing what they need to be doing. They've listened to us, and they're taking the right steps. Ladies and gentlemen, help us out. It is $35 a year. I don't care if you donate again. $35 a year to join the NRA. Take advantage of the cool stuff. Trust me when I tell you, the range bag is worth $35, okay? The binoculars, more than that. Take advantage of it. Get a good deal. Get something cool. You might win the whole grand prize deal, and you're fighting for your gun rights simply by being a card-carrying member, okay? It's that simple. All right, so make sure to do that. And don't forget all of our other great partners over at armedamericanradio.com. That other bag's going to be filled with some swag from them, and you know who they are. We'll talk about them coming up. Let's go back to Lee, the Gunwriter Williams. Lee, welcome back in, my brother.
Thank you. Great to be here.
All right, so could the original language from the Senate be added back to the bill by the House? The answer to that question is yes, which would then remove the registration requirement. But it would have to reconcile, and then it would likely have to be overridden if the parliamentarian did the same thing. Do you think that could happen?
Yes, it could happen. Will it happen? I pray it does. I'm leery. I just don't think it will. I don't think Thune has the 2A credentials to make sure that happens when it comes back. I don't know what's going to happen in the House. I hope to God it does. We have all been told multiple times, yeah, you're going to be able to buy cans in a grocery store.
Cans being suppressors, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and that's the way it should be. Should be able to not have to jump through all these hoops to get a suppressor, or to get a rifle with a barrel that's, I don't know, let's say 17 or 15 inches.
Right.
It's crazy. It's crazy. The law's written. It's just nuts. I thought we were going to see some sanity. Obviously, we're not seeing it now.
What interests me, and it has from the get-go, is when the Senate put that language in the bill over and above what the House did. So I'm wondering whether there's some strategy there. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I have no clue, okay? We're thinking and talking about this out loud together with you today as the bill goes through its final processes. And if you don't know what that process is, go back to civics class. I would say ask your kids in school, but they haven't been taught. So you need to go back to the civics classes you were likely taught as a kid. But is it possible, it kind of fascinated me that the Senate did it. I wondered if it was a type of bait and switch because maybe the Republicans thought the Democrats were going to come after the suppressors harder than they did. And by doing so, they just added more juice to it, Lee, by putting in the registration for the short-barreled rifles as well, knowing that they would be able to use it as a bargaining chip and say, okay, we'll pull that back out, but suppressors is staying in. So, that didn't happen that way. But I'm still not 100% convinced. I don't know. Maybe that is part of the strategy. Maybe it will go back in. I don't know. It sure would be nice to see. We're going to have to wait. But like you, I'm not holding my hat out on that one at all. I think we might, unless we get lucky, ladies and gentlemen, and it sneaks through with no talk. Looks like we're just not going to have to pay the $200. Which I go back to the Giffords again, and let me re-ask that question. How does that, but just by removing the tax, the $200, known as a tax stamp, for those of you who might not know, in order to be able to have the privilege of registering a NFA, a suppressor or a short-barreled rifle that you just heard Lee talking about, anything 16-inch barrel or less, how does removing the $200 tax make it easier? I mean, are they honestly saying that the $200 is that the criminal's going to go, oh man, now I don't have to pay the $200, so I'm going to go ahead. Criminals aren't registering anything with the ATF. So how does it make it easier? Are they just, full of boatloads of crap? Of course they are. I know the answer. Rhetorical question. Sorry. But I want to hear your thoughts on it, just because they said it.
I like our Veep a lot, Vance. I can't see him letting this happen to gun owners all across the country, especially since we were all told that we were going to get suppressors and short barrel rifles and short barrel shotguns and AOWs without having to play these games that shouldn't exist because they're not even close to our Second Amendment. I just hope that he will step up. Trump doesn't know a lot about guns because he doesn't carry guns. He's never had a lot of guns. His kids do. Both of them do, as does our Veep. I hope that, I really do. I hope that we can get something out of this other than, I don't have to pay the $200.
I know Don Jr.'s listened to the show before. Don Jr. Yeah, listen, Don Jr.'s listened to the program before. Don, if you're listening now, brother, have a conversation with your dad so that he can have a conversation with somebody in the house. Okay? And then, again, back over at the Senate. And I'm sure Thune and Vance would know how to play that game if it were to come back. I don't know. I've just been told it could be added back in. Maybe my source was wrong. I don't know. But it could. Who knows? We'll wait and see. If it does, it does. Let's go back to the gun control Google here. Carolyn McCarthy, gun control crusader and former congresswoman, dies at 81. That's a couple days old news. We'll move on from her. Washington Post, 4 days ago, Republicans' tax bill would water down a century-old gun law. That's the $200 tax stamp that we're talking. Washingtonians will need state permit to buy guns under new law. So here we go. Now, this is a month old, but it's now moved. Okay. It's going beyond the state's existing background checks in the state of Washington. Lee, you did a stint in Washington State for how long? About a year and a half? A couple years back?
Yeah, about a year. A little less than a year.
How painful was it to go from Florida to Washington?
I didn't open my safe a lot. Let's just put it that way. Everything that I have in my safe is totally legal here in Florida, and that's the way I want to keep it. Washington State is weird. You can carry a gun exposed without any kind of permit. You want to tuck it under something, you got to have a permit. The police there are difficult when you compare them to the police here in Florida. It's like they want to make gun arrests for no reason or little reason. So I didn't push it for that year I spent behind enemy lines out there. But here in Florida, hey, let it happen.
Yeah, what else is weird about Washington is the fact that there are so many gun owners out there. And they value their guns. Their state preemption laws are very strong, and they have a very high percentage of permit holders out there. I guess rural Washington, outside of Seattle and Olympia, for example, maybe Spokane, there just aren't enough of them to overcome that big blue wave of liberal goofballs out there. There's just not enough of them, or they just enough of them that if there are enough of them, they don't vote. I know Dave Workman's had that problem for a long time. He's mentioned that a lot, right? You agree?
Yeah. If you got rid of Seattle, it'd be a red state. It would be a hard red state. But the people that live around Seattle, and it's growing, are dark blue.
Yeah, that's. Here we have news breaking here. Let me get to this one quickly. Idaho sheriff shooting suspect used a shotgun on firefighters. I was unaware of that until just now. Did you know that?
Yeah, I did. It's just incredibly terrible.
So that tells me that we were at close range here, man.
Well, under 100 yards, yeah.
That's close range.
30.
I was unaware. That's news breaking to me. Shooting suspect used a shotgun on firefighters. All we knew yesterday there was a quote-unquote rifle or a long gun there. And the grandfather of this guy, we'll talk about this when we come back, just kind of going through some of these stories. He wanted to be a fireman. So my guess is going to be, just seeing that, is that he couldn't, and he did what he did to take it out on other firemen who could. That's the way losers think, ladies and gentlemen, right? Think the old, if I can't have you, nobody can have you mentality. If you won't love me, I'm not going to let anybody love you or you love anybody else. If I can't have my kids back, I'm going to kill everybody. Evil is real, ladies and gentlemen. It is real. We will be right back. We have one more segment with Lee.
This segment is brought to you by Attorneys on Retainer. Get the only self-defense program for gun owners backed by a real law firm, the Attorneys for Freedom. Visit them online at attorneysonretainer.us. Welcome back.
Welcome back indeed. Do that, ladies and gentlemen. That's one of those no-brainer stupid things. If you carry a gun, put an attorney in your hip pocket for $35 a year. Why? I mean, or $35 a month, worth every penny. Think about that. I mean, it's just one of those no-brainers. If you carry a gun and you have to use it, you are going to be investigated, and you're going to want an attorney. They do not provide you a free attorney during an investigation. You won't need one. And trust me when I tell you, during that investigation, the cops are going to, in part of their investigative process, is wanting to talk to you. And you're not going to want to do that without an attorney. And if you don't already have one at $35 a month, you're going to pay a hell of a lot more than $35 to talk to an attorney throughout that process, which could extend months and months and months. So make it simple. Just get one. Attorneysonretainer.us. And if you use the attorneysonretainer.us/AAR promo code, guess what? You save $50 on the sign-up, $35 a month, $25 individually for family members. It's that simple. That's what we've done here at the ranch. You can do the same thing. Don't be stupid. Okay? Take advantage of these amazing opportunities while we're able to bring them to you. And check out all of our partners. You can find them all. Daniel Defense, Defender Coffee, Car Arms, MyPillow. Guys, I love it. You guys still, MyPillow.com. Thank Mike for supporting you for 17 years nearly on this, at least 15 years on this program. I've lost count, at least a decade and a half at MyPillow.com. All you got to do is use the promo code at MyPillow, and you get all the great discounts on all those products. Take advantage of the stuff. Great stuff. Emerson Knives, Heaven's Harvest. Don't forget goat guns. Get your goat guns. Feed your new addiction and build those things. We've got them sitting all over the studio here. They're wonderful. Barrel Buddy, barrelbuddy.com. Clean your guns the right way. Pitch the patch. Patented technology. Super easy to do. Ammo Squared and budsgunshop.com. Running a great special over there. Keep the gun for 30 days. Play with it. Shoot it. Sleep with it. Do whatever you want to do with it. If you don't like it, they'll take it back. No questions asked. Put rounds through it. Take advantage of this stuff. budsgunshop.com, our exclusive online retailer. You know the rest. And join the National Rifle Association. Help us out there. Take advantage. Get the free range bag. Get the binoculars range bag if you have 1 year and 3 year membership. Binoculars for the 5-year or life membership. Take advantage of these great things that we're offering for you, okay? And all of it advances your gun rights. Lee the Gunwriter Williams, welcome back, my brother.
Thank you. Good to be here still.
Yeah, we closed off on Washington State. That's a weird place, okay? It's a beautiful state. I hate what they've done to the gun laws. Oregon, same way. California, same way. You know, the West Coast is beautiful out there. It really is. But the politics have destroyed any desire to want to go there. I would never live in any of those 3 states, no matter what. I don't know how you did it. I applaud you for doing it, leaving a free state. It's not easy to do, is it?
No, it's difficult because you feel the loss of freedom everywhere you go. It's terrible. The gun stores there, they won't hand you a weapon until they can see your card, man. I mean, it's terrible. It's just like unbelievable.
Yeah, take a listen to this one. If you guys have gun control pulled up from Slate magazine, okay, this is as far left as you can get. We analyzed every gun case since Bruin. The result is horrifying. From Slate.
Oh my God.
And this tells you everything you need to know. This story was published in partnership with The Trace, a nonprofit newsroom covering gun violence in America. Lee, do you want to tell us what The Trace is and how nonprofit The Trace is and what they are as far as a newsroom, please?
I just want to read The Trace's lead story on this. Inside the GOP's tax bill, a return to Prohibition-era gun regulation. That's what they're actually calling it. Prohibition-era. So you can have a Thompson in your car, right? Yeah, no, not even close. The Trace is nothing but a bunch of anti-gunners. They call themselves journalists. They're not. They're all paid for with millions of dollars from Daddy Bloomberg. We don't know what their total financing is, but they're just failed writers, failed reporters. They go there and they write anti-gun stories, and 5 people read them.
And people believe it, and it's sad. And I'll tell you this.
They're not a newsroom.
They're not a newsroom. They're good at what they do. Over there, anyway, they are. It's a propaganda machine. And they've got the millions they've got billions. In fact, I believe Bloomberg's net worth now is close to 100 million, if not more. So they have unlimited pockets, they're deep as they can go. And they're never going to run out. I mean, him funding them at $1 million, $2 million a month, whatever he does, is pennies couch change to you, ladies and gentlemen, for Bloomberg. So, he's able to make it look good. They know how to run a propaganda machine over there. And I have to give credit where it's due, Lee. They are good at it, and people do buy into it.
Yeah, I mean, the follow-up on this headline is Republicans and the Trump administration are pushing to erase restrictions on silencers and curtail enforcement of federal gun laws. Yeah, I don't know about that.
So wait a minute. So I can do things that are illegal now once I get a suppressor?
Sure. Yeah, you can drive around in your straight A Ford and shoot with your Tommy gun at people.
I have a Thompson. I have a Tommy gun, but it's a semi-automatic 45 caliber. Now the Tommy gun is a 45 caliber in full auto as well, and they're an absolute hoot to shoot, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, at most ranges that have the Class 3 license, if you want to shoot anything automatic, anytime somebody asks you, and I see this all the time, and I'm one of the victims here, okay? You're given a choice of what to shoot. Everybody goes to that Tommy gun first because it's so quintessentially American. It's a Thompson.
It is. It's a great gun. I prefer the Swedish K. A little more modern, still an open bolt, 9mm, easier to hit, slower rate of fire, better gun. But hey, it's a Thompson. It is America.
Yeah, it's just the gun people. It's if you've never fired one in full auto, ladies and gentlemen, give yourself a play date, man. Go do it. And you can buy them. Car Arms owns Thompson. Auto Ordnance. You can go buy one. They sell Tommy guns like crazy. It's a family heirloom at my house right out of the box. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, and they're easy to control. Even full auto, very easy to control.
Well, the weight of those guns is why. You've got a solid walnut stock. You've got solid steel on that frame. And that 45, that thing just it feeds it like butter. There's virtually no recoil on it. Now, I will say this. The Thompson is a little bit uncomfortable gun to get used to because of its weight and its ergonomics as far as the way the stock is designed. But once you get that thing up and get it rolling to how you like to hold it and the stance that you want to use for it, that gun is just a hoot to shoot. And you can buy them. You can buy them right now at Auto Ordnance at Thompson. Just visit Car Arms. Just go to car.com, KAHR.com. You can order one. And when it comes in, let me tell you, it's a grin from ear to ear when they open the box when you go pick that thing up to get your
30.
Lee, it's beautiful. We've got 30 seconds. Go ahead and tell people where they can read you and all the cool stuff that you're doing, please.
They can go to armedamericannews.org. They can go to thegunwriter.substack.com, or what I prefer, go to saf.org. Everything I've ever written is at saf.org.
That's the place to do it. Lee, I'm going to see you at the Gun Rights Policy Conference coming up in September, which I can't believe we're even talking about September yet, but we are. Good heavens, ladies and gentlemen. Time is flying right by. There's no question about it. All right, guys, we're going to call this one a day. And you know what I think I might do? I think I might go back to Prohibition era after the show today, Lee. I think I might have a cup of moonshine. How about that? Right?
Go for it.
Go back to Prohibition era. I'm gonna. You know what I'll do? I'm going to clean my Tommy gun and have a glass of moonshine. How about that?
Yeah, make sure you have a Panama hat on, too.
A Panama hat on. No, a nice fedora.
30.
A nice fedora. And I have an Al Capone flask in my collection in my bar
20.
From Jacob Bromwell. Maybe I'll drink moonshine out of the Al Capone flask, polishing my Tommy gun after the show today. There's a visual for you.
10.
Lee, I love you, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Check out all of our partners. Enjoy what's left of your day. We'll see you on the radio tomorrow, guys.
You just filled your prescription for freedom with Mark Walters, presented by the National Rifle Association. The National Rifle Association on the Armed American Radio Network.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in today. Appreciate it very much. Thanks for being here. Make sure to take advantage of all the cool stuff that we got going on out there for you, all right? With attorneys on retainer, that is an absolute no-brainer. Please join the NRA. Help us move forward with us. Don't look backwards. Don't be that backwards-looking guy or girl, okay? Look forward. That's what we have to do as we continue to trudge through this fight against these enemies of freedom like the Giffords and the rest of these groups and the Bloomberg money. We're going to beat them at every twist and turn because we are right, they are wrong, and we do have a constitutional right to do what we do. You are not a criminal. I am not a criminal. And criminals don't dictate what I do in my life, nor should it when it comes to my constitutional rights or yours. So take advantage of all our great partners out there. You can find them all at armedamericanradio.com. Join or rejoin the NRA. Take advantage of those great gifts. Get yourself an attorney. Pick up some ammo. Stock it up at ammosquared.com. Clean your guns the right way with Barrel Buddy. Buy some goat guns. Have a great time with all of our wonderful partners. We're so proud of the list that we've put together for you. Very cool stuff. The best of the best. You can carry your guns in the best holsters made, the most copied holsters made. Why? Because it's a crossbreed. It's the reason it's the most copied holster, ladies and gentlemen, because it's the real deal. Thanks for being here today. We'll catch you on the radio tomorrow. Garbage day from the ranch. Enjoy what's left of your day. We'll see you on the radio tomorrow. Thanks for being here.